trouble. Or maybe they just weren't trying. Brandon stiffened beside me. Mom, this isn't really… But then Patricia continued, her voice getting softer, more syrupy. I noticed something interesting at church last Wednesday. She looked directly at me. I saw Emma at the pharmacy, and I happened to notice what was in her basket. Pregnancy tests. A whole box of them. My blood turned to ice. So naturally I was thrilled. I thought maybe, finally, I would get the grandchild I've been waiting for. But then just this week, I ran into Emma's colleague Monica at the grocery store. And Monica mentioned very casually that Emma had missed a few days of work last week, that there had been some kind of medical emergency. Mom. Brandon's voice was hard now. Stop. But Patricia wasn't stopping. She was smiling, this horrible, pitying smile. So I put two and two together, and I realized what must have happened. And I just want to say, Emma, that I'm so sorry for your loss. The table went silent. Linda's fork clinked against her plate. Jennifer's eyes went wide. But Patricia continued, reaching across the table like she was going to take my hand. These things happen, especially when the mother is stressed or not taking proper care of herself. I've read that women who work too much, who don't prioritize their health, are more likely to… I stood up so fast my chair scraped against the floor. Emma, Brandon said, standing with me, but I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at Patricia, at her fake sympathetic face, at the way she was sitting there acting like she had just done something kind. How dare you? I said. I'm just trying to be supportive. You had no right to announce that, to turn my pain into dinner conversation. Patricia's expression shifted. The sympathy vanished. Now she just looked irritated. I'm family, Emma. I have every right to know what's happening with my son and his wife. If you two had been honest with me from the beginning, instead of sneaking around. We weren't sneaking around. We were grieving privately, like normal people. Normal people don't shut out their family. Normal mothers don't stalk their daughters-in-law and then announce their medical history at dinner parties. Patricia stood up now too. I am not stalking anyone. I am involved in my son's life, which is more than I can say for your parents. Where are they, by the way? When was the last time you even saw your mother? It was a low blow. My parents lived across the country. We weren't estranged, just distant. Brandon stepped between us. Mom, that's enough. We're leaving. No, I said. Brandon looked at me. Emma. No, I repeated. I'm not leaving. Not yet. Because something had just clicked in my brain. A memory. A piece of information I'd been holding onto for months. Unsure what to do with it. Patricia sat back down, smoothing her napkin across her lap like we were just having a minor disagreement about politics. If you're going to stay, then sit down and let's eat like adults. I'll stand, I said, because I have something to share too. Since we're apparently doing family announcements now. Brandon's hand touched my arm. Emma, don't. But I was already talking. Did everyone here know that Patricia has been spending a lot of time with my ex-friend Ryan? Patricia's face went white. Ryan, I continued, who came out as gay 8 years ago, who moved to the city about a year and a half ago, who I introduced to Patricia at our wedding because he was one of my groomsmen and she seemed interested in his interior design work. Emma, Patricia's voice was sharp now. I don't know what you're implying. I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. Ryan and I lost touch after he moved, which was sad because we'd been close. But then, about 6 months ago, I ran into him at a coffee shop. And you know what he told me? He told me he'd been doing design work for a lovely woman in the suburbs, a widow who needed help redecorating her house. He showed me pictures. I pulled out my phone. I'd been carrying this information around like a stone in my pocket, never quite